All right, Pod Pros, I'm excited to share this with you at the special request of Alex. It's from a hallway talk him and I were having. He was asking me some things I was just sharing. I've never shared this outside of my author clients and individual conversations. If you asked me some stuff, and even that, I mean, you're limited on time. So without further ado, let's start the show. So you want to start a podcast. Now what? Hi, my name is Mari Ficini, and I'm going to be sharing today what I call predicting your podcast's profit, because so many people just jump into all of this and they're like, I need this software, I need this tool. I'm going to go back a little bit. I share all this later on, but it just gets me fired up because so many people jump into everything just like aimlessly and then wonder why it doesn't work the way they expected, the way they see everyone else doing it. And it's just kind of like, did you think this through? At the end of the day, it's like, did you use a shred of common freaking sense? And the answer, unfortunately, is no. And whether you did or not, I did both. I let my dreams guide me and I just started this. I really had no clue what I was doing, but I just knew what I wanted. And I think that's easier because you can always figure stuff out. So let me attempt to, I don't know. Do you want me to follow these? I guess I will. I prepared it. So why should I produce a podcast? The number one reason to produce your message is your mission. And kind of like what I was segueing to in a second ago was I just knew what I wanted. I knew who I wanted to serve. I knew how I wanted to help them in a bigger way. I had no freaking clue what I was doing, literally with any of this. I was just like, I know who I want to help. I'll figure the rest out. It's just a bunch of equipment. That was kind of my mindset. Number two reason to produce, who you want to reach more people. And three, you want a way to add more value. These are not the end all be all distinctive. If you don't agree with these, like, you know, maybe your number one reason to produce, maybe it's been a dream of yours. Maybe you don't have a mission. Maybe you just always wanted to do it. That's perfectly fine. Whatever your reason is, I just need three reasons for the slide. I think these are good ones. You probably want to help more people. You probably want to add value. I highly doubt you're going to jump through all these hoops to just aimlessly go, I'm bored. I need something to do. If so, God bless you. Making a puzzle might be a little bit more time efficient, but whatever your reason is, joking aside, why should you produce a podcast? So I will say because it's really cool. Can interview cool people. Some new ones, build lasting relationships, help more people, and have a reason to make a cool intro sizzle reel. Why you shouldn't start the show. The work. Number two reason. The extra work. And number three reason. The work you don't even know about right now. I am laughing at the what I have next for you, and it's setting proper expectations, but I'm being very clear and transparent as I always am. I am not going to be another person telling you, oh, all you need is a microphone, and then you say stuff into it, and you put it into the ether, and then magically everything works out. No. Would you ever start a business for no rhyme or reason without talking to anyone, without even taking a shred of, okay, calm down. I say whatever I want on my show. And sometimes once I get on the mic here and the camera, sometimes I forget it's not always my show. So I'm going to behave a little bit, not too much though. And I don't want you going into this if you're just starting the show or already have one, there's probably a new level you want to get to. If you're just starting, maybe it's your first 10 episodes, 20, 50, 100, whatever the case is. If you're past 100, congrats, high fives. Maybe it's 200. That's why we're doing both. Those are fun milestones. And I remember reaching each of my hundreds, each milestone is like, holy smokes, it's 100 more. I've produced basically 2 years of every other show out there. And it's like, what am I doing? At every point, I'm thinking, where am I going? So I don't want you thinking, just get a mic, everything's going to work out. The reality is it's going to be a good amount of work. There's going to be work you don't even know about, and there's going to be work that you didn't even like, where'd this come from? So I'm trying to keep this focused. There's things I want to say, like audio, video. How do you want to make it appear? But those are like a couple slides ahead. So segueing into setting proper expectations, doing it proper. What is proper for you? Proper for me is this. This is the vision I had. I knew what I wanted, no clue how to get there, still made it happen. But I was always aiming extremely high with a high standard. I had to commit to it. You're not going to wake up and it's just going to fall in place. So for anyone else who's making it sound like that, God bless them. If that's what they want to sell, I couldn't sleep at night. But I want you to know, no matter if you're doing audio, video, whatever the case is, it's going to be more work than you thought. And I'll tell you my crazy budget timeline, everything in a second. But you absolutely need an attitude of gratitude. It will become a mess at some point. You can have 9 episodes go great, 19, 29, and then some crap will happen. It more than likely will be the first 30 to 50 episodes constantly, and it might taper off. Maybe. I hope that's not the case for you, but you have to realize the learning curve going into it is not going to be just like, it's that success squiggle wheel. What you think success looks like, what it really is. So it's the same thing. It's just podcasting. Like my man Cube said, life ain't a track meet. It's a marathon. So is podcasting. You're not going to get started. I think I've said this 17 times. Okay, I'll do it. You're not going to grab some stupid microphone and just start talking into it and magically everything's going to work out. And no, that was not a coincidence with the specific words and timing and holding that up. I absolutely despise those mics for podcasting. I only have it from about 15 years ago, long before I started. I do not recommend them. I'll get more into that later. But when I was practicing this, I was like, that'd be hilarious if I held up a Yeti. So I grabbed one from my closet that's technically not even mine. It was someone else's I was helping when she was starting voiceovers, and I still have it because she owed me something. I kept it as a break-even payment, whatever. But so many people jump in with, I just bought a new mic, or my favorite computer thing. Well, I just bought a brand new Apple. I just bought a brand new Dell. I don't care. What is the horsepower? How much is the memory? How are the drives configured? How is all this set up? I just bought a new car. It doesn't matter. It might be a piece of crap car, but it's new. So anyone who's like, just get a new whatever, it may or may not be in your best interest. So I say that kind of tongue in cheek. But the reality is, I really want to steer you in the right direction because you're excited. That momentum, that excitement is everything right now. But if you think you're doing it right and you're not, the further you get along, the harder it's going to be to go, yes, I didn't know the right thing in the beginning. I heard from so-and-so, and then you get defensive. And there's nothing worse than going, I want to change. I know I need to, but I've lost the inability of it because of my ego, because maybe I did invest 50 or 100 or 500, 1,000, but whatever, the dollar amount doesn't matter as much as you thought you were on the right track. You may not be. And just because someone said get a ring light and a Yeti mic, ring light, did I say mic? A ring light, sparkly, and a Yeti mic That doesn't mean you have a professional studio, and that doesn't mean it's going to be everything you ever need on the face of ever from here to eternity. It could be, depending on your scenario and situation, a good starting point. What's your purpose? Why are you doing this? Why are you starting the show? What's your goal? Who's your ideal listener, and who are you serving? If you have no clue, the mic doesn't matter. The lights don't matter. You might not even want to do video. I know statistically more and more people are, but when I started my show, there's a lot of people who weren't, and they're going, why are you doing video? Well, why are you live streaming it? More. All these different things. And it's like, because I want to. Next question. It doesn't matter if you want to or not. You got to do what's right for you. Maybe it's the answer, maybe it's not. But regardless, you need at least audio. If you're not doing video, you need at least audio. Otherwise, you're going to have a real interesting podcast, an audio blog. Someone told me that once. Oh, I don't have a podcast. I have an audio blog, for the love of God. No matter what the case is, though, you have to have the mindset. And I hope through the humor, this is entertaining. You are getting some nuggets here of kind of my thought process. And before I went into it, I've willingly admitted I had no freaking clue what I was doing, but I knew where I was going. And that's all you really need. You can figure out the rest. And if you're humble enough and willing to go, hey, I bought the wrong thing, maybe I should upgrade this. I have author clients of mine that are asking me right now. They already have a successful show, their book, or publishing their books. And they're going, what do you think I could do more? I go, with everything you're doing, the branding, the videos, then the audio book, I go, I really would advise you to. And one of them is change the set, microphone, and a few things about the show, not the guest, not really everything, but a few little tweaks. And they already made an investment, probably more than most are willing to. And I'm still like, it's in your best interest to do this long term. And I'm going to tell you exactly the same stuff I was telling them privately. What's your plan? You might not want to, but you got to do it. Do you have a plan? And if so, how well is it working? What are you missing? What is that gap you want to bridge? Where are you right now? Whenever I go into a project, publishing a book for someone, talking about the live streaming here for my show, too many people are like afraid to admit where they are. Well, I do everything perfect. I've been in business 48 years. Okay, but you've never done this before. So calm the heck down and tell me where you're at. And I will tell you, this is kind of fun for me. I see something here. I think I have another slide of this, so I should just do this now. So you have to have a plan. I'll get into where are you right now? What's the gap you need to bridge? What's on your mind? Is it the mic? Is it the camera, the editing, the audio, video, website, hosting, all these things? If you've never done this, you're probably thinking about those. Even if you have done it, you may be questioning, did I do everything right? It depends. If you've never done it, you have to start somewhere. If you have done it, you may or may not have done it right for you. There's a lot of situations. There's no one size fits all answer. There are better mics than other ones out there. That's an easy win. But if you go, I don't have a budget for it right now, then that's not the right answer for you right now. Now, do 20, 50 episodes. Then maybe set that as a goal, but this is where I'm excited to talk about the profit. And raise your hand if you're excited about going, I want to monetize this. I want to get profit. I'm sure we were thinking the same thing here. You might even want to do it fast. And I would be pretty confident in saying most people just assume sponsorships. I need to start a show. I need to have the right mic. They don't even think they need the right mic. They need a mic. This joker. I bought a $79 or $129 Yeti mic. So where's my $58,000 a month from sponsorships for my 5 people listening? Really? So I say this tongue in cheek again with this whole thing because everyone thinks they're going to go from I have no audience, I have not promoted this, I barely have a show off the ground, and magically sponsorships are just going to roll in. Let's go back to that plan. Thank God. I do have a second slide. I did engineer this right. Yay, win for me. Focus, frequency, and format. What is your show's focus? What is the frequency? Weekly, bi-weekly, all these different things. The format, audio, visual. Who are your first guests? Do you even want guests? Audio or video? I've said a few times, start where you are. Don't think I've even done this on my show, with the exception of using it to start it. But this little puppy has not been dusted off in 3 years. I literally just got it for you because I really want to show you it doesn't matter where you start. It's where you're going. And if you look, and I'll tell you another weird thing. No one in 400 plus episodes has been like, oh, you switched your mic. I noticed the break. Notice something here in the branding. They're very similar looking. This whole thing was maybe 20 or 30 bucks, including the shock mount and the arm. This arm alone was 120. The shock mount was like another 110. I paid extra for the coloring. The mic was like 400. You need the cables to go into the thing. You need the other thing that to make this one work, because this one was completely, that had a $12 wire. This has a few $100 worth of wires and audio interfaces. So I get it. You might not be coming out of the gate with it. Neither did I. And I'm thankful for that. My first 30, I had 34 episodes in the can. Beforehand, shot them, did them all, and I started where I was. Here's another thing. Notice, I don't think I've ever showed this on camera or in a presentation. This was less than 10 bucks on Amazon. I don't know if it was $2.99 or $9.99. Doesn't matter. It's plastic. It has the foam inside. You can get one. Kinko's 110-pound paper, glossy. Actually, I'd go with matte because that's matte. But I had glossy. And then there's electrical tape. If you look, 2 to 4 pieces on the front. Just make sure it's, camera like this. If I get the right angle, that one's pretty decent. Angle it here. Can you really tell if I get the perspective? Big difference, huh? So I joke about this, but start where you are. Think about the guests. Think about the format. And, it's coming down to what you have to, it's coming down to, I got to keep going is what it's coming down to. But think about the profit. I joked about it there with the sponsorships, but you have to get this out here. Well, look at that. You got to get it out there. Yes. But will you be proud of it? What are you producing? Is it another Me Too show? Oh, I'm doing a podcast. Da, da, da. Think about the guest. Do you want guests? Do you not want guests? What destinations is it going on? You might be thinking, what if I'm not ready? Don't push yourself if you're not ready. But if you are ready, don't hesitate. Clear as mud, right? At some point, you got to get it out there and realize there's iterations. I tell my authors this all the time. They're, I'm all ready for my second book. There's things I want to change with it. I go, that's why they're called editions. First edition, second, third, fourth, fifth. Think of your show like that. Say, I'm going to launch with X amount of episodes with this frequency for the first 30 to 60 days, maybe 90. At that point, I'll reevaluate where I'm at. And then for the next, think quarterly. And then for the next 30, 60, 90 days, I'm going to tweak it here and I'm going to tweak it here. Give yourself 6 to 12 months. You might have the show you wanted by then. Give yourself breathing room, because the reality is if you come out of the gate doing it perfect, great. You have all the money in the world. I have an equipment list I'll give you at the end. You can get all this. By all means, do it. The quicker you invest, the greater ROI you're going to have. But even if you come out of the gate, it's still going to take time. You still have to break into the industry. You have to form those relationships, and you have to think about the profit. How much time is this taking you? How much budgeting, for all of these things? Producing. EV1. What do you want your new week to look like? You're taking on an undertaking. I've said it about 100 times. This isn't going to take, I'll tell you my scramble. Are you literally going to work 24/7? What day or days are you willing to dedicate to filming and recording? What days are you dedicated to producing the show? Show notes, website, graphics, all these different things. You're taking on an undertaking, and to do it right, it's gonna take time, or someone else's time you need to pay. So my original thought was, I want to book the guest, record the guest, edit the episode, and produce the show all in an hour a piece per episode. It's delusional. We're repping in around 3 to 6 hours of production, maybe 7-ish, depending if it's longer, per episode. So if you're saying I want to do it daily, okay, you now need 7 episodes times 7 weekly. That's 49 hours. Who's doing it? If you're doing one episode, you're going to add 5 or 10 hours a week to you. And then, I want it to grow. And then you start growing. Let's talk about that real quick. Holy smokes. Publicity. How do you grow it? EV2. Email list, press releases, guest podcast interviews. Oh, who made that extra big there with Podmatch front and center? It is easier than ever to get on different shows or have people on yours. Thank you, Alex, for Podmatch, because it's way easier now. Thank you. Seriously. You can still do cold outreach and all this, but why? Why would you? It's a waste of time. So you go, okay, I want to do these other things to promote the show and I want to grow mine. So I'm just talking producing around 7 hours, 3 to 7 hours an episode, if you do it like mine. And that's doing it quick. And I have 2 decades of experience with a team of people, just even more transparency. So my numbers could be off. I'm just sharing mine. And you want to grow it. So you go on other shows. Well, that takes more time. Okay, now you might want to do stuff with those shows. And then people want to come on yours and you have to like vet them in different things. And then it starts growing and people start reaching out, asking for help and doing different things. So this is where the profit starts coming in, but it can also turn into a lot of busy work if you don't have a system in place. So the profit can come from sponsorships. Absolutely. I got my first sponsor within the first year, actually 9 months to the day. I think we were launching the app. The app, my app and the sponsorship all happened like within a 24-hour period of time. I think actually it was Halloween for one, and then whatever the case is, it was like 9 months to the day. Books and course sales, products, services, consulting, speaking. Really, you can monetize anything. If you get nothing else from this, don't try going after sponsorships out of the gate unless you're an already established business. I had sponsorships out of the gate. They were existing clients and sponsors for my live event for the book launch party in person. The slide you saw with me and one of my authors at the table when I started all this. If you already have those established relationships, fantastic. Absolutely leverage them, reach out, add value. If you don't, however, consider it. Where you're at, don't put that burden on you. The reality is you need, it depends on the person, and it's going to take time to build up the show. Just think about it. So one last thing I'll say here with the EV, producing EV1, EV2, and here, these are all evergreen. Why aren't they EG? I don't know. We've been saying EV internally for years because evergreen. Producing is now your new week. Publicity is now your new week, and profit, I pray, is your new week day. This is like where you live from now on. So I want you thinking about it. How much time is it taking? If you have team members you have to need payroll for, if you're doing it, what's your time worth? You have to take all of this into account. And I wish we had more. I wish we had more time. This is barely scratching the surface. I'm doing my darndest. Obviously, we can't get into it. If you want to learn more, free video podcasting course. I have a slide here for Q&A. It's time to do it on video or audio. At some point, you have to do it and launch it. I guess I'll open it up for questioning. And thanks for having me. I hope you got something out of this, and wish we had more time.